Sharon, thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me this morning. Congratulations on your film Float.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Tell us a little bit about the film. I had a chance to watch it, and it was a great story.
Oh, thanks. Well, the film is an adaptation from a Wattpad property by Kate Marchant, and I came to the project after Collective Pictures, the producers, approached me as they had the option for the film to make it into a film for Robbie Amell. And when I read the book, I was, very surprised by how much I could relate to it. But yeah, so the movie's about Waverly, who is sort of rejected by her parents and flies to meet her aunt in beautiful town BC, Holden, BC, fictional town BC, to spend the summer. And sort of after almost drowning at a party, is saved by her neighbor Blake. And it's sort of their story, their love story. Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah, it's years later. I still can't figure out Zoom. I don't know why.
Okay.
Um, so is it that relatability that you're talking about that drew you to the project to want to direct it and work on it?
Yeah, definitely. So the book is actually about a 17-year-old girl from Alaska that is shipped to Florida after also being sort of rejected from her parents. And there was so much about the Waverly story that I could relate to, this like weird, complicated relationship with my parents, this idea that I never learned how to swim. I took swimming lessons as an adult. I went traveling and fell in love, it's kind of this beautiful setting. And I was really interested in telling a story about love that was modern, that was grounded in the realities of our life. And ultimately the film to me is about belonging and kind of our responsibility in that belonging is not just about other people taking you in, but that you have to do the work too to show yourself to other people.
Yeah, well, I'll share something with you. I still don't know how to swim, and that
Oh,
is a problem.
I love it.
I'm in the process of learning, but it got cold, so I have to wait till next spring, summer to pick that up again.
Nice,
Um, but
nice.
yeah, you're absolutely right about some of these things. And the thing I really liked about the film is I think, despite not getting too much of Waverly's backstory, because of the fact that she's on her way to Toronto, start a residency, I could almost picture myself like, okay, she's a very busy person. She's probably always been focused on her career and things like that. And going to a small town obviously is going to be this big, I wouldn't call it a bump in the road, but like a stop to kind of gather yourself again. And that's what I love about uh, small towns in particular. Do you feel the
Yeah,
same way about small towns?
definitely. I'm definitely a traveler, and I love getting away from the city life to sort of reconnect to the world and see that, I'm not the center of the universe. Um, and it's a humbling experience, to be able to take yourself outside of yourself, to see that you have other ways that you could live your life, and to make a decision about how you want to live your life after having seen other ways to do it.
Yeah, and I think that's where I related to kind of to her story was you're so enthralled with what you're doing with the day to day and everything you're doing that when you stop and really smell the roses per se, you find that maybe that's not the life you wanted. It's not the life you you crave. It's just the life that you were told to have. So I think that was very relatable,
Mhm.
and a lot of people can relate to that. I personally, I head out to Monterey anytime I need a breath of fresh air from all this tech stuff that I'm around because I'm in a newsroom almost 24/7, and having this break, it means a lot, and I can see that in Waverly.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad that you saw that. I think um we don't spend a lot of time in her we don't spend any time in her regular life. So I'm glad that you were able to feel that and I mean connect those dots. That, you know, her life has been busy and she's on her way to becoming a doctor and that's gonna continue being busy, you know. So this is really her chance to step away from all that and reflect on her own life.
Yeah, absolutely. And from a director's point, when you're crafting a film like this to put it on screen, how do you manage the pacing in a kind of like this romance that we're seeing between Blake and between Waverly and making sure that it's flowing right in the film? Because I feel like that's a tall task to do because you don't want to you don't want to pump the brakes too much, but if you start it way too soon, then it becomes very unrealistic for the audience. So, talk to me a little bit about your process in pacing.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think pacing for me is very important. Like I appreciate I guess I tend to like to tell stories that are a little bit more that moves a little bit more. You know, I with Float, I wanted to feel real, you know, I wanted it to be grounded uh, where, you know, this could happen in real life, you know. At the same time, I wanted the audience to feel the environment that they're in and this kind of meditative um feeling of being surrounded by the ocean and mountains and this kind of slower pace. So I think you'll notice, I mean, I'm sure you notice that the film has those moments of calm and quiet and the music also reflects that. Um, but I wanted it to be fun too. And so we definitely wanted to keep the story going and like um and yeah, balancing those two things.
It's not only the people who are drawing you in with their small town kind of closeness that a lot of towns have, but also the environment's very attractive in its calm, serene. Especially like I've seen a lot of the morning shots where you know your characters are coming together, and we kind of see that, or when they're out to the lake and there are these wide shots, and it's like I don't necessarily need this big city. I don't need all that rush. This is good just the way it is. It did take me back when we go to Oregon. So I see what you're doing there. Yeah, it's the environment definitely plays a character in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
So how was the chemistry? Obviously on screen once the movie's said and done, chemistry between Andrea and Robbie was great. Anything beforehand that they did to kind of come together or they I mean besides them being great performers.
Well, we definitely, you know, chatted a lot beforehand. And the both of them are so talented and just very good, nice people. And I think that really is helpful in creating chemistry within between them, but also between the friend groups. You know, we wanted everybody to feel close and intimate and yeah, we also were shooting in a small town, so we were hanging out you know, after our shoot days and I think that helps foster relationships and yeah, it was a wonderful time.
I love that. It's always, especially for films with the less of a budget. I always love hearing directors say, "Yeah, we were all together the entire time, so we just hung out and really became like a family." So anytime I can hear that, I don't know, it just feels like it makes your job easier and a lot more fun. Am I right?
um I think we're frozen. I don't know if it's me or you. Oh yeah, you're back. Oh, you're muted.
I'm sorry, for some reason my internet disconnected. All right, sorry about that.
Good.
What's happening? Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why that happened. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so no, like I was saying, it just gives me joy to know that you guys have fun working on your projects because then it translates on screen.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think that's very true. And yeah, it really felt like summer camp. It was cool.
What do you hope audiences take away from their experience with the film?
Well, I hope they have a lot of fun watching the movie and that they're swept away and that they believe that it helps them believe in even more in romance and in love. But I really hope that they also walk away with a bit more courage to talk to their loved ones very honestly about what they feel and what they want, so that they can really connect with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I think for me, it's partially also don't be afraid to take a different path. You know, you never know where the road's going to take you. I have not a degree in journalism, but I'm now TV producer and a
Yeah.
journalist. So how I got here,
Awesome.
it's very, very different. And I like that to see that in Waverly. I mean,
Yeah.
did she become a
And in
doctor?
Blake.
Probably. Yeah, yeah, definitely, because he has a lot of baggage that he's lugging behind him. So
Yeah.
that chemistry between the two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think being open to what people can offer you and being open to the perspective and really examining how you've lived your life and your perspective and being open to change and to growth.
Because it could lead you to wild places or the best days of your life.
Yeah.
Sharon, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate spending some time with you to talk about Float and to get to know you a little bit better because I know these films a lot of times have a little bit of personal touch to them, and I like to learn a little bit about that as well.
Yeah. Thanks for taking the time to watch it and to talk to me.